Bill Maher is once again shaking up the political talk scene, this time going head-to-head with Joy Behar's bold claims and completely dismantling them. What exactly did Behar say that triggered Maher to call out the left's double standards? And how did he turn her arguments upside down right on her home turf at The View? Let's break down every jaw-dropping moment of Maher's Trump no audience comparisons to the surprising reactions from the audience. You won't believe how Maher challenges the woke narrative while holding both sides accountable. This isn't just entertainment, it's a masterclass in unfiltered truth. Let's dive in. Bill Maher has been making headlines with his pointed critiques of The View hosts, delivering sharp and unapologetic responses that are creating waves among viewers. His recent encounters with Sonny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, and now Joy Behar have been nothing short of intense, leaving many wondering if he'll ever be invited back. However, Maher's candid approach has earned him significant praise from his audience, who relish his ability to challenge mainstream narratives with wit and precision. The latest clash centers on comments Joy Behar made likening Trump supporters wearing MAGA hats to Nazis flaunting swastikas. Maher wasted no time dismantling her argument. With his signature blend of sharp humor and logical analysis, he pointed out how dangerous such extreme statements are, trivializing the horrors of the Nazi regime while alienating millions of Trump supporters who aren't motivated by race or bigotry. He emphasized that conflating political slogans with symbols of genocide stifles meaningful dialogue and deepens political polarization. Instead, he called for a more nuanced approach, one that examines policies and actions rather than resorting to hyperbolic accusations. Maher's critique didn't just resonate with his fans, even the typically supportive The View audience found themselves applauding his points. Behar, in an attempt to recover, responded with indignation, adopting a tone of disbelief that anyone would dare to challenge her perspective, however, had already deconstructed her argument so effectively that her rebuttals fell flat, leaving her visibly unsettled. This isn't the first time Maher has faced pushback from those he debates, but his ability to hold his ground and remain unflinching in the face of criticism has cemented his reputation as a fearless commentator. When Behar tried to regain the upper hand during his next appearance on The View, Maher came prepared. Armed with evidence and unshakable resolve, he methodically dismantled her points once again, reaffirming his position as a sharp critic of political extremism on both sides of the aisle. Maher's approach underscores his belief that reducing complex political issues to simplified accusations doesn't foster progress, it damages credibility and fuels division. His unwavering focus on logic and evidence continues to set him apart, even as he faces backlash from those unwilling to engage in balanced discourse. However, you've got to admire Bill Maher's audacity. Who else strides onto The View and fearlessly takes on Joy Behar in her own backyard? His confidence and willingness to challenge the status quo are almost unmatched, earning him both applause and criticism in equal measure. But what really sets Maher apart is his ability to dive into the core issues, sparing no one, regardless of political affiliation. For example, Behar admitted she hesitated to criticize President Biden, fearing it might push undecided voters toward Trump. This candid confession highlights a troubling dynamic that Maher wasted no time addressing. He called out what many have long suspected, a collective unwillingness on the left to hold Biden accountable. It's not about Biden being perfect. It's about shielding him from criticism to maintain a facade of superiority. This mentality, Maher argued, does more harm than good, eroding trust and credibility in the process. Staying true to his style, Maher didn't mince words in describing Biden's presidency. His comparison to a cadaver wasn't just bold, it was a sharp critique of the president's often perplexing behavior. Maher highlighted moments that have left the public puzzled. Biden wandering off stage after speeches, gesturing to shake hands with no one, and engaging in peculiar actions that raise questions about his competency. These incidents, Maher argued, shouldn't be brushed aside as harmless quirks. They reflect a deeper issue that demands honest discussion. While media outlets and political allies scramble to downplay these moments, Maher's unfiltered commentary forces the conversation into the open. His refusal to conform to partisan narratives gives him a unique platform to address these uncomfortable truths, even when they provoke backlash. In a climate where integrity often takes a backseat to loyalty, Maher's willingness to challenge both sides of the aisle stands as a testament to his commitment to honest dialogue, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Joy Behar's defense of Biden, where she claimed he has a good brain, leaves plenty to the imagination. It's a vague, almost laughable assertion, emblematic of the woke crowd's tendency to rationalize poor decisions and questionable leadership. Bill Maher, however, takes a refreshingly different approach. While he identifies as a leftist, he's one of the few who truly grasps why millions of Americans gravitated toward Trump, and he doesn't villainize them for it. Maher understands Trump's broader appeal by acknowledging the cultural and political shifts that have alienated Middle America. He points out that many see Trump as a shield against the relentless push of far-left ideologies. For these voters, Trump symbolizes resistance against a movement that has redefined fundamental truths and attempted to suppress dissenting opinions through cancel culture. Take the more extreme ideas pushed by the woke agenda, concepts like men being able to get pregnant, or the defund the police movement. Maher has no qualms calling out the absurdity of such positions, emphasizing how disconnected they are from the concerns of everyday Americans. For someone struggling to make ends meet or worried about the safety of their community, these ideas feel not just impractical, but completely detached from reality. Maher argues that these out-of-Trump priorities have done more to drive voters into Trump's corner than any campaign strategy ever could. In his characteristic bluntness, Maher doesn't shy away from stating that the left's obsession with these fringe ideas has effectively paved the way for Trump's political resurgence. It's as if the woke mob handed Trump a golden opportunity, practically writing his campaign slogans for him. This has left figures like Joy Behar in an awkward position, defending narratives that often alienate the very people the left claims to champion. Maher's perspective resonates with many, including some who previously disagreed with him. Comments on the situation reveal admiration for Maher's evolution, with viewers noting how his current views align with those of figures like Jordan Peterson, who Maher once debated on his show. This transformation isn't just striking. It highlights Maher's willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, even if it means challenging his own political affiliations. Meanwhile, the public's reaction has ranged from serious engagement to humorous jabs. One commenter humorously remarked that while they'd never worn a MAGA hat, they'd buy one just to annoy Joy Behar during their morning coffee run. This blend of humor and critique underscores the growing divide between the woke left and average Americans. A divide Maher consistently exposes with precision and wit. Maher masterfully exposes the contradictions in woke ideology, and his encounters with Hollywood elites only highlight how out of touch they've become. Take the bizarre claim from John Cryer that Biden's election loss was due to Americans hating black women. It's hard not to laugh at the sheer absurdity of such a statement. The mental gymnastics required to arrive at that conclusion could qualify as an Olympic sport. Hollywood's echo chamber is notorious for producing these kinds of outlandish theories where celebrities seem to be competing in a never-ending game of who can be the wokest. The problem, as Maher so effectively illustrates, is that their narratives often crumble under the slightest scrutiny. It's almost as if these stars forget that outside their luxury bubbles, regular people are grappling with rising costs, job insecurity, and countless other issues far removed from Hollywood's identity politics obsession. Maher doesn't need to shout or grandstand to make his point. Instead, he employs a methodical approach, letting his guests like Cryer talk themselves into a corner. It's a skill few can master, but Maher wields it with precision. By simply asking the right questions and allowing his guests to dig deeper into their own flawed logic, Maher demonstrates the widening gap between Hollywood's woke crusaders and the average American. Take, for instance, Maher's conversation with Joy Behar. Her inability to critique Biden and her blind allegiance to the woke narrative encapsulates the very problem Maher often critiques. These figures are so entrenched in their ideologies that they've lost the ability to engage with reality. And when someone like Maher comes along to hold up a mirror, their discomfort is almost palpable. SSRIB operator, the National Center for Rebellion and Integration. This disconnect isn't just amusing, it's a serious issue. When influential public figures focus more on performative wokeness than substantive solutions, they alienate the very people they claim to represent. Maher's critiques aren't just entertaining, they're a necessary wake-up call to an elite class that seems determined to prioritize virtue signaling over meaningful action. In the end, watching Maher dismantle these arguments feels less like a debate and more like a masterclass in critical thinking. Whether it's Joy Behar fumbling to defend Biden or John Cryer spinning conspiracy theories, Maher's ability to reveal the logical inconsistencies of woke ideology is unmatched. As viewers, we can't help but appreciate his candor and laugh at the absurdity of it all. And Cryer? He walked right into the trap. Maher nudged the conversation, and soon Cryer was defending ideas so outlandish they'd make even seasoned debaters quit. This wasn't just a takedown of one actor. It was a glaring example of how Hollywood's liberal elites have become so insulated that they no longer grasp the real concerns of everyday Americans. In a media landscape obsessed with political correctness, Bill Maher remains an island of reason. On September 27th, Bill Maher remains an island of reason. His take no prisoners approach challenges us to think critically, laugh at the absurdities, and always question the narratives we're fed. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Is Maher's takedown of Cryer and Behar a much-needed wake-up call for Hollywood, or just another piece of performative politics? Drop your thoughts below and let's get the conversation going.